Let me talk about this and more with our guest. Glen Grant, Lieutenant Colonel of British Army in retirement. Hello, Mr. Grant. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. As you know, Hamas attack on Israel. Was it Israel's intelligence fault?
That's a rotten question. I think, absolutely. I mean, obviously, Hamas have been preparing this for a long time because you can't do what they did in a hurry. And I think that they've been preparing it and keeping the information as tight as they can. But I suspect that Israel, like many other countries, who started to rely more and more and more on electronic means of intelligence gathering. And of course, one-to-one personal discussion downstairs in a cellar is impossible to hear unless you're one of those two people. So I think that that's what Hamas has done. They've gone back to basics and actually prepared themselves. I think also that it's quite likely that the Israelis have started to believe their own omnipotence and wondrousness because they've been successful so many times in the past. And then maybe they just got lazy and not really doing what they're supposed to do, just passing by, so to speak. But obviously they got it wrong, badly.
Just passing by. Oh, all right. Well, was Netanyahu also just passing by? Is it his fault?
Well, he wouldn't know. This is something. I mean, he wouldn't know because the intelligence services are the people that do these things. So Netanyahu relies totally upon what he's told. I mean, he doesn't know anything himself. I mean, he's the boss. So he gets his information through probably weekly briefs, and if those briefs are the same 3 or 4 weeks on the trot, then it's natural human nature that you start skimming them, and you don't actually read them as seriously as they could do. And obviously, that some of the people lower down who may have had an inkling of what was coming, that something bad is going to happen, right, may have been just too frightened to pass it up. There's all these career things in these things. Analysts are often very, very unsure about actually telling people what they know for fear of ridicule. I mean, hey, look at me in 2018 when I told Poroshenko what was going to happen. We're going to go to war. So what happens? My internet gets trashed. Sorry, my Facebook gets trashed. My phone gets trashed, and that was from the Ukraine side. That wasn't from Russia. So analysts can be quite wary of actually telling what they think to be the truth. As I say, for fear of ridicule, for fear of not getting promoted. Someone says, "Oh, he's a Cold War warrior." I've had that. I was a Cold War warrior for 10 years from people in the British Ministry of Defence.
So are you really telling me that if I would possess such an information, that someone has 5,000 missiles underground ready to be fired at Israel, and I'm just like, no, it can't be happening. I won't tell it to my superiors.
You might look at it yourself. Well, you might look at it yourself and say, I don't believe it myself. They can't possibly have that. So if I tell someone they've got 5,000, I'm going to look a stupid fool. is very typical of human nature.
Right.
Equally, they may not know there was 5,000. They may have only known that there were 50 or something like this. So you can't be sure. One end it's human nature, and the other end it's poor intelligence, and probably somewhere between the two of them lies the true answer.
Do you believe the Kremlin is behind that in some way? Is Russian authorities involved?
No, absolutely sure. If not behind it, then running alongside. But I would think, directing them. I mean, almost certainly that there in the past there's been help, because we know Hamas has gone to Moscow, Hamas leadership has been in Moscow, so of course, and Putin needs this. I mean, he needs it to pull resources away from Ukraine. human resources, equipment, anything else. So my guess is that there will be something else after this. This will not be the only distraction we see. We'll see another one somewhere else.
Like what?
I don't know. Maybe a resurgence of Nagorno-Karabakh, but maybe Georgia again.
Right.
But you see, I mean, at the moment, Putin is concentrating on state capture. And let's be blunt, he's got Georgia, he's got Hungary, he's got Slovakia. He had Bulgaria, but the Bulgarians are fighting back. So in his mind, he might think he's doing quite well, especially if he knows that under the surface, he's got the possibility of another country. I mean, remember, Austria. He's had Austria, if not got Austria.
Yeah.
He certainly suppressed Switzerland. So when you put those all on paper and look at them, he thinks he's doing quite well, I think.
And is he?
It's difficult to say because you can't tell how much any of these things are going to create barriers. I mean, let's wait and see on the vote for Sweden coming into NATO. That will be a test case. Okay. It's already been dodgy for a long time. Let's wait for the day